Good morning. Today is Monday, June 30th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zori and Lady Pitbull on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Waking up, as usual, to darkness.
Oh, my gosh. So,
Yeah.
you were telling me just a second ago, how hot is it going to get out there?
107 today. 108 today. It's supposed to be 109 tomorrow. Yeah. So it's going to be some hot ones. I'm going to probably go down to the river or something later on today.
Wow, man, 110. And here I'm griping about 90.
Yeah, but you have humidity, which to me is way, 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 way worse.
Dude, it's going to be so humid. It's like you can wring out the air like a towel right now.
See, I'd rather be in 115 degree weather than to be in 80 with high humidity.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. 80's not too bad, but let me tell you right now, like, my kitchen floor is completely wet, and that's just from the humidity.
Wow.
Like, I have to be careful walking across my kitchen floor because there's a layer of wetness on top. It's really terrible.
I can't breathe when I was back east. When I went over to Hawaii, when I got married last time, I went to Hawaii to get married because my husband was stationed over there, and he wanted me to move over there. I said, "Hell no, you come home and visit." I would not. I would felt miserable, and that's nothing compared to what you guys go through.
Yeah. We're surrounded by like freaking giant lakes here in Michigan, so it helps with the humidity, being jacked up. More so, really, than anywhere else. Like, Florida's pretty humid, too. That's surrounded by water.
I know. Oh, Anana in the chat room goes, humidity is proof the Creator hates you and wants you to suffer from swamp ass.
That's hammy.
That's what I figured.
Swamp ass.
I agree. I mean,
no.
It was beautiful back there. Connecticut, Vermont, even New York was exciting. But, man, the humidity. I would go and take a shower, go in and sit down, mind you. That's it. And just sit there and sweat. I don't know. It made me irritable. Mm.
Yeah, irritable. That's another one.
Yeah, and people, though, that live, like in West Virginia, they said, well, if you grow up with it, you're just used to it. But that's probably true.
Yeah, I've never felt a dry heat in my life. I've never been west of Missouri, so.
You would be in heaven. I think that's what makes a lot of people move out west. I really do. I think it's the humidity. It's either that or lose their sanity. But anyway, I was going through this weekend. I was reorganizing. I hate it when I do that because I can never find anything. But I was going through my old Free Press papers and reading some of the articles, and I want to share this one with you guys.
Wait, the Detroit Free Press?
No. This is the California Ledger that this one's in.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we had like 3 or 4 Free Press magazines coming out back in the 90s. But anyway, this one is, there's no way to rule innocent men. The only power any government has is the power to crack down on criminals. Well, when there aren't enough criminals, one makes them. One declares so many things to be a crime that it becomes impossible for men to live without breaking laws. Who wants a nation of law-abiding citizens? What's there in that for anyone? But just pass the kind of laws that can neither be observed, nor enforced, nor objectively interpreted. And you create a nation of lawbreakers. And then you cash in on the guilt. Now, the above is a quote from Ayn Rand's book, Atlantis Shrugged. Would you say we're living under such a system today?
Absolutely.
And this is from 1994. you know, going through these papers, it really hit me right in the face how our government it makes all the dots come in, because like in 1990, I'd say 92, people started to get really upset with the government. I mean, we had militia was out in the open, patriots were out in the open. We had all these things going on. B.E. Smith was giving lectures on how to become sovereign at the Red Lion and at other places. They were having militia meetings out in the open, and I mean, it was everywhere. You know, there were so many people disgruntled. And going through my free press, I noticed something. 93, I have a whole stack of them. 94, a whole stack of them. I mean, good articles of people coming together and all. Then, all of a sudden, I don't have any for 95 or 96. Almost all the free press went under, belly up, and the militia numbers went way down dramatically. The Oklahoma bombing.
Right after that happened.
Right, they did that. I seen it then. I said it then. I'll say it now, and I know it's true. They did that because they were afraid the American people were getting together, and they weren't going to put up with shit no more.
That's absolutely correct.
You know, and looking at I was reading some of these articles and thinking, all of them, every one of them are relevant to today, only more so. You know, and I mean, my very first letter to the editor was because the cops pulled over this gentleman for a taillight that was out, and he was sovereign. He had all his paperwork. He had all the answers. He knew it inside and out. They still took him to jail because they can arrest you, and they can hold you for 2 hours if you refuse to give your identity so that they can find out who you are. Well, what they did to this man, they stripped him naked, put him in a cell, and left him there standing, nowhere to sit down or anything for 9 hours. And this just reeked, you know. I mean, B.E. Smith used to explain how to become a sovereign citizen. And he said, the hardest part is educating yourself. If you really want to be sovereign, because you don't abide by society's laws, you abide by the law of the land. And
well, that's not necessarily true. There's a Black's Law dictionary that they go by, and there's also an entire pretty much school that they go to learn this stuff. So and in fact, I like to say that if you're a so-called sovereign citizen, now you're a terrorist. But what they do is they actually follow the letter of the law. The letter, yes. They don't not follow any laws. They actually are the opposite, where they follow all of them to the letter. And that's the thing. And what they don't like, what the system doesn't like, is being held by those same standards. And what the sovereign does is he makes sure everybody is on a level playing field and is held to the same damn standards as they are. Right. And B. Smith, he always started out his lecture, okay, so you want to be sovereign. Okay, the hardest, where you have to work the hardest is to educate yourself. He goes, disconnecting from society, yeah, it's a hassle and stuff, but you got to educate yourself. You have to be able to educate the law enforcement if you get pulled over. You have to be able to explain it in a way that they don't get offended, you know, and do what they did to this gentleman, Mr. Brown. But, you know, they do. They follow the law of the land, and they do follow it to the letter. But, you know, there were a lot. I mean, every time he would give a lecture, the room was full. Completely full. There were quite a few people that actually did become sovereign, because there's a long line of things you got to do, and they live way out, you know, to themselves. And I see them every once in a while. They're awesome people, but it's just so tragic how fast it all came to a halt. Just boom. It's like the hippie movement.
a lot of people don't realize, but Manson, who was brought out, he was always in and out of jail. He was working for the government when he went out and got that ranch and had these kids, these poor kids, you know.
He was a CIA asset.
Right. Because, you know, if you get kids that are have no home, you know, they've been kicked around, all you have to do is show them a little affection and you got them. And they knew that because the government was scared to death of the love movement, the hippie movement. I mean, you know, what could they hate more than people loving each other and coming together and uniting? And he was used for that purpose. And what happened as soon as that the Tate murders happened, people were ashamed to be hippies, and they were looked at differently. The government's so manipulative, you know.
Yeah, he was involved with Satanists and all that crap, and.
But, you know, he hated hippies. He did not like hippies at all. But, you know, they had to stop this movement somehow, like just with the Oklahoma bombing. You know, you have to understand, our government doesn't bother them to kill women and children and innocents. It's nothing to them. Just to get what they want, what they need, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, and so you wonder... there's quite a movement going now. I mean, look at we didn't have all these alternative radio back then. You know, all we had were people, you know, coming together for lectures and meeting in parks and stuff like that. But now we have the internet. So there was
a lot of ham radio stations or shortwave radio stations. Those are all out there too. There's actual ham radio stations that still do shows to this day. They were doing that back this weekend.
Yeah, that's the one thing they haven't been able to stop. My dad had a ham radio. I never got into it. I just had a CB.
Yeah.
I would like to have one, but you know, you have to have that tall tower which tells law enforcement, anyone, that you have one. That's a drag.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's a good thing, though. I mean, it's kind of cool to get on there and talk to somebody around the world.
Yeah, I remember with the CB, you have to be licensed to do that, and you used to have to be licensed to have a CB.
You still have to you still have to go take tests and stuff for the ham too.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, you have to have your number and all that, and. I mean, it was so cool, and that's why all the truckers used CBs, because the police weren't really legally allowed to listen to the citizen ban. And that was great. You know, you had your call numbers and your handle, and, I mean, my dad said, you never have a car without a CB in it. Well, times have changed, but I always had a CB. But then, I forget what year it was that they made it so that the law enforcement could listen in on the citizen ban, and that changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they knew where the truckers were, how fast they were going, and all this, because they would talk to each other. And a lot of times, I can remember back in the day when the police would get on and act like they were just a trucker or something. And you know, usually you could tell, but yeah, we had it good before then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now it's all tracking and tracing, and they don't even need to do all that weird shit anymore.
I know.
They've got it easy now.
Yeah, I just found out Chico, just a little ways from me. Now they got the license reading computer now in their cars.
Oh,
it reads
wonderful.
250 a minute, or 250 license plates a minute.
Good Lord.
Right, and any car, like they'll cruise parking lots. If your license has expired, it'll go off. If your car's stolen, it'll go off. If you have tickets, it'll go off. If you have a warrant, it's going to go off. And then they just sit there and wait for you to come back to your car and arrest you.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, they're going to just... How
drive down the neighborhood and read your car license in the driveway, and you know, I mean, yeah, God.
Well, here's my problem with that whole thing. What's to stop them from just getting their quotas and just grabbing random license plates out of that system and freaking just start writing tickets?
That's what they're gonna do. Like, okay, we're getting a new jail here in in Reading, the next town up, and I've noticed I see a lot more people being pulled over on the side of the road.
Yeah,
they need revenue, so people get ready. You're going to be getting a lot more tickets here, and it's going to be a lot more crime because no one's going to be out there, trying to fight crime. They're going to be too busy raising money for this new jail.
Right, exactly. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I mean, even if I'm sure that these license plate readers can issue tickets for like 1 over the speed limit. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it works. I don't think it works like that. I don't think this is used for speeding.
It will be, though. You know where this is going.
Well, that's true.
It's going to be integrated into these systems. As they get the system, once they get the system, the upgrades are going to happen pretty freaking fast.
That's true, too.
You know that's the deal. And it's going to be you're driving down the road, and you didn't come to a complete stop once all the black boxes get in sync with these cop license plate readers. You know what I mean? They're going to be able to tell exactly what speed, what time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Whether your car came to a full stop, whether you turned your freaking signal on to change lanes. I mean, all of that stuff is going to start getting recorded, and the cops are just going to have it, and it's all going to be automatically done. Cops aren't going to even have to do anything anymore except drive around. And then, the system's going to automate everybody's tickets right on the spot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is getting really, really bad. I mean, how far is this going to go? We're already in dystopia nightmare now. How are we going to...
Oregon. I just read last night. Oregon has passed a law that if you refuse to take the breath analyzer, they can take you into the station and draw blood.
Really?
They're going to start on the 4th of July.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I mean, that's so invasive. And okay, so you refuse. It used to be if you refused, you lost your driver's license for a year. But that wasn't good enough for them. So now, I don't know about back there, but here the DMV has become a collection agency.
That's right.
Yeah, that way there too. If you owe child support, they'll take away your license, which makes a lot of sense because then you can't get to work to even pay child support if you wanted to. There's so many catch-22s, and just like that article said, you make so many laws that no one can be not be a criminal.
Right. They've been planning this for a long time.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if we noticed all this back then. And, and we're putting these dots together. And that was just about the time, that they were making it against the law not to wear your seatbelt. That was our first really noticeable infringement on our rights and into our personal lives. You know that? It was the first one that really got into our everyday personal life to where they're telling us we have to do something in our own vehicle as we travel down the road.
Right. Yeah.
And they did it just like everything else, and it was probably a test too. The boiling frog. They said, we advise you to wear them. Then the next thing but we won't give tickets. We're just saying it's safer. And then 6 months down the road, they were doing checkpoints in front of my school where I was taking cosmetology. And I asked a friend, what are they doing? They go, oh, they're stopping people to remind them to put on their seatbelts. And I went, they're stopping people on the road because, they're not giving tickets. They're just reminding people.
Yes.
And I looked at that, and I'd already learned to watch for stuff like this and to take note of it. And then 6 months down the road, guess what? You're getting tickets for it now. And now, it was just the driver got the ticket then. Now, it's every person in the car who doesn't have their seatbelt on gets a ticket. So, I mean, and then it's just if you watch it coming on, you know, I've been watching this probably since the early since 1973 to be exact, is when I first started noticing things that weren't quite right, or as we thought they were. So I wonder how, you know, since 1913 maybe, even before that, really.
Yeah. I mean, because they got to do it. They got to do it in piecemeal, tiny incremental movements, so people don't quite notice it.
Right. You know, and now they're just so blatant about it. It's hard not to recognize it. I mean, you have to be a blithering idiot not to see it.
Well, they don't give a shit anymore. They don't care if we see their hand because they're so far into this now, they're not going to turn back. And once they start forcing you to do a blood draw when there's no freaking, like, registered nurse on site, like, or a phlebotomist, which is a blood drawer, I mean, no cop is going to freaking stick a needle in me that's not a freaking phlebotomist. Hello?
Guess what? Yeah, because when they take you into there, remember that video we seen of them strapping them down? That's what they do.
Oh,
They're
I know.
Strap you down.
That's right.
And, you know, and, you know, there are some law enforcement that think, you know, this is the right thing to do because drunk drivers kill. But they don't, you know, I mean, what if a cop gets caught in one of those things? Are they going to do the same thing to him? Because how many cops have got busted for drunk driving?
Sleeping behind the wheel kills too. I mean, come on. So what are they going to do? Put an electroshock thing in your seat?
Sure. I mean, no ideas.
They'll monitor your eye movements, and if you look off the road, zzz, you get a shock. I mean, come on.
Well, they're already tracking you with your little black box in your car.
That's right, and it's and the cops, you know, they'll be able to push a button and shut your freaking car down.
They can already through what is the name of that they came out? Oh darn. You know, it started coming out in all the cars where they could track the car if it got stolen.
Yeah. Oh, it's
what is the name of that? But you can't turn it off. Even if you stop your subscription.
OnStar.
Even if you stop your subscription and you're not paying for it no more, you can't use it, but they can still use it to track you.
And listen to you in the car.
Right. Everything you say, how fast you're going. And what was that other thing? Like the BMW, they could take control of your car.
Yeah, that's scaring the crap out of me. I don't want anything remotely controlling my car or automated at all. I mean, if I can't drive my car, I'm not going to drive at all.
That is moving very quickly. They're already out on our streets testing them, and you know, it's just like, wow. Next thing you know, they're going to
cause more freaking accidents than they're trying to prevent.
They say they won't. That I can see how it could stop accidents. I really can, because I've watched the videos on the Google car, and they have so many sensors out there that the computer can react much faster than we can.
I understand that, except that there's with the more complex the computer system, right? There's glitches. There's more problems that could actually happen. You know, I mean,
the system goes down.
Yeah, if the system goes wrong, something goes wrong. You know, you're cruising in the middle of the highway or whatever, and then all of a sudden your brakes just go on. I mean, come on.
Yeah, or well, I guess they'd all just die if the whole system went down. But, you know, a glitch on one, I mean, it happens with our cars. I mean, if gas pedal gets stuck,
sure.
You know, but I mean, it's not going to be long before flying cars. Right. Really. Yeah. I mean, but it is amazing that, look at how long cars have not changed in the basics in how many years since they were invented. Really, they still run on the same concept. Never, you know,
right?
They get more stylish or plush, but it's still motors still run the same and stuff. So I don't know, but and then did you know? Okay, I didn't know this, and it's kind of freaked me out this morning. it says here, U.S. company in Iowa churns out 100 clone cows a year. Now, I didn't know they were approved for consumption in 2008.
Clone cows?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really? That they were okay for our food?
Yeah, the FDA approved cloning. Yeah, when they started doing that with Dolly and the Dolly the sheep. Well,
I know they've been cloning, but, I didn't know that it was for food.
Sure.
I thought maybe breeding, and they're saying that they're good for breeding and stuff, but like these four cows, they said it's really strange if you look at them because they all raise their head at the same time. They all look to the same direction at the same time. That's spooky.
Oh my God.
That's spooky if you ask me. And and they clone horses and pigs so far.
Yikes.
Yeah. And how far down? I mean, how many people are cloned? We don't know.
Oh God, there's probably a ton of them out there. They've got, the BBC has a show about it. I won't watch it. Yeah, it's called Orphan Black. I refuse to watch it. I refuse. But it's about like this gal who got cloned, and there's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them out there. Yeah, and they're trying to kill the clones. I don't know what the hell the plot is, but screw all that.
Oh, it's a show like
it's a TV. It's a freaking TV show. Which is but I mean, they're trying to get everybody used to these ideas. See,
right? Look at Star Trek now is reality. Okay, how long before that is reality? How are you going to know if you're talking to a clone or a real human being? That they can reproduce.
And there's like all these freaking zombie shows. I mean, and survival stuff. They're trying to tell us something. It's all, we know what it's designed to do. It's designed to, get us acclimated and accept these freaking ideas. But as far as the cows and stuff go, we don't know what the hell that's going to do to us down the line. Eating this kind of crap. I mean, why don't they experiment on themselves first?
I agree completely.
But no, we've got to be the freaking petri dish. It's got to be. It's got to be the people. And I guarantee your ass that cloning crap is banned in all of Europe. I can guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want nothing to do with that over there.
Yep, but they can be acclimated too. And who says they don't? Maybe how many things does our government do that they don't tell us until after?
My God, don't even ask that question.
And I was looking at Facebook, manipulated users' mood in secret experiment. They would put out, post articles and then watch how people reacted to them. To either, they found out that people read negative posts more than positive. They learned all this stuff, and a report just came out about it. They screwed nearly 700,000 users, newsfeed users, and either to be happier or sadder than normal. The experiment found that after the experiment was over, users tended to post positive or negative comments according to the skew that was given to their news feed. They are learning every little aspect of our emotions, our thoughts, This is so scary when you look at all the little parts. It is just remarkable.
Well, sure, absolutely.
Face recognition. Oh, and the license plate readers are also, they are working on facial technology also to integrate with the license plate to make sure that the person driving that car is the person who owns it.
What happens if you lend your car to your mother?
Well, then they're going to know that your mother isn't the owner of the car. So if they're looking for the owner of the car, they would let her go on by. But if you're in the car and you have, some warrant for a ticket you forgot about, like my roommate just got, from 1997, she just got a notice that she has to pay $2,000-something in 15 days from a bench warrant for a ticket back in 97. Tell me they're not getting desperate for money. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'll go, wait a minute, let's go. We went in and into the DM, we went into her records, because it's public. And it shows right on there, we printed it out. Case closed. The day she made her last payment, okay, well, they don't have no record of her paying. And so she's automatically guilty, even though the case is closed. How do you fight that?
Yeah, you you really don't, really.
Nope.
I mean, you just, I don't know, there should be like a statute of limitations or something. What?
That's what I said. On something that long ago, it's not a felony. It's not even really a misdemeanor. It's an infraction. And then the interest, all that time, that's why it's $2,000.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So, and she's stuck. I mean, no matter what she says,
$2,000, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and that's ridiculous. But if she doesn't make payments, well, she set up to make payments because they said, you better do something because they're going to just go in your bank account and take that money. And her mom died a couple of years ago, and so she has a substantial amount of money in the bank. I said, either you better take care of this or you better get your money out of the bank because they'll go right in there and get it.
Hey, our very own Charles Ocelli, they had their baby last night. It was 7 pounds, 6.5 ounces, Francis George Ocelli last night. Woohoo!
Congratulations!
Congratulations, guys. He looks beautiful. He sent me a little picture and everything. It was really
Aww.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, congratulations, you guys.
Oh, man, how neat. It's so exciting when a new baby comes into. I remember she hardly ever got to sleep because I was over there watching her breathe, moving her bassinet, Oh, my God, it was crazy.
Well, there we go. I'm glad that I was able to announce it today. I'm honored, Charles, so... Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Yay!
Hey! Awesome. We've all been waiting for it. So we got another new little patriot that just hit the ground. So watch out, world.
Yeah, that's what I say. When people go, why I don't want to bring kid into this world, and I go, but you know what? They win that way, and who knows? You might have that child that's going to change the whole world.
Absolutely. You never know. You never know. It's this little tiny tyke now that just hit the ground, man. You never know. It's awesome.
And that's more love. It projects more love, and that's what they hate more than anything else is love and unity.
That's right.
Yeah, so congratulations. How exciting. I'm always happy and babies bring joy to so many. I mean, it's just such an awesome time.
It is. Absolutely. I'm super happy, and Chuck says he's happy, and
yeah.
He's got a crappy connection there at the hospital, I guess, but he's still listening in, so yeah, we loved you, Chuck, and we love the new one, and tell your lady there that to get some rest.
Yeah, no kidding. I wonder how long she's in labor. That's his first, isn't it?
No.
Oh, no?
No, I guess it's each of their third. So,
wow.
But it's their first between them, I guess.
Oh, how neat. Yeah. God, you just think about all the joy that something so little can bring to so many.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Joy and no sleep, so.
No kidding. I remember the days well. I can remember so many times while feeding her, I'd be sitting in a chair and fall sound asleep.
Oh.
Oh, gosh.
Because you're just so tired, huh?
Yeah. And I had her natural childbirth, and I stopped at 1. I wasn't built to have babies, the doctor said. So, but, yeah, I just sit there and go, But, yeah.
Well,
so, that's...
I feel honored that I was able to announce it on air.
Yeah.
That's great.
What do you think of this water thing in Detroit.
Oh yeah, that's a sticky wicket right there. We got good old John Conyers writing the president saying that there's a state of emergency. And so what that does is that it opens up for more federal dollars to flow into Detroit.
And
which I think is extremely freaking dangerous.
Right. And look at we can spend $1.6 billion for immigrants coming in so that they have all the human needs that you need, you know, food, water, clothing. And yet American citizens, they are 4,531 people a month are losing their water, and that means children aren't getting water to drink, dishes aren't getting done, toilets aren't getting flushed, bacteria is going to run rampant, and disease is going to take over Detroit. And we do not, our government does nothing for these people.
No, they don't do that.
So, you know, I mean, doesn't this register as kind of weird to anyone else other than us? I mean, what? Because someone can't pay their bill? You know, I mean, that's a life necessity, a necessity of life. You cannot live without water.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing, though. And really, the freaking water department did jack up their rates. Like, right. All of a sudden, bam, and now all of a sudden, oh, you can't pay? This is what's going to happen with property taxes, with income taxes, with everything else. It's just with food, and people are going to be with gas. Everything is going to just suddenly skyrocket, and no one is going to be able to afford anything. You know, it's going to be the wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread type thing, and
well, so the store. But look here, it's starting here.
Oh, sure.
Some people's, this one couple's bill went up from $60 a month to over $1,000 because with the water shortage, if you use over your amount, the money, it just skyrockets, and these people here are getting hit with it, and they can't afford that. So what are they going to? Are they going to shut our water off? I'm wondering.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do, and then they're going to call the UN in. And this is going to be it. They're going to say, "Oh, water is a right. Water is an absolute natural right for every person to have." But you're not saying it's a right for people in Africa. You know what I mean? I mean, so this is the way, I think, through the water,
food and water
crisis, that the UN's going to get their foothold here in America. They're going to use that as a state of emergency in order to get the UN boots on the ground. So this is very scary. This is a very scary precedent that's being set right here, right in front of our very eyes.
Well, watch your bills. I mean, I take care of the bills in this household. I make sure they're paid. Every single month, they're higher. Every single month.
Yep.
You know, and it won't be too long before we're going to start having to... We're lucky. We keep our utilities down quite a bit. And we have gone without power. We've turned our power off here and gone 2 days, 3 days to see how we're set for it. And we've done pretty well, but I never turned off our water.
Well, yeah, that's going to be next.
Yeah.
Detroit's pretty much like the template for everything else of what it's going to be. So I don't know.
Just try it, everybody. You know what? Turn off your power. Like if the power went off for 2 days, and see if you are prepared. We had no problem going 2 days without power. I mean, we are set up with lanterns and jump starts and all this, and so we did it pretty well. Not really a problem.
That's only 2 days. What about 2 months? What about a year?
But you want to start into this slowly. I'm not going to turn off my power for a month right at the beginning. But then in those 2 days, we've seen what we did need or what we should do to be prepared for a week and get yourself prepared for it. But I never really thought about the water. And that is a scarier thing. Like this one lady, she's living out of she has these trash cans with 2 trash cans. One right outside her door to hopefully catch rain, if there is any. The other one she got from her neighbors, and what she does, she uses the same pail of water to do her dishes, to mop her floor, and to flush the toilet. You know, but then what happens if your neighbor's water gets turned off? Then what do you do?
Right?
You know?
That's
and
right.
they're gonna get charged for going over their limits.
Yes.
So, you know, they tie your hands even helping each other.
That's correct. Well, that's exactly what the plan is. I mean, this is all Agenda 21 coming down now.
Mm-hmm.
They're implementing this now. It's all becoming, and then of course, they're saying gas prices are going to swell to a 6-year high because of all the stuff going on in Iraq right now. And, oh, here comes the crisis. And, oh, it's going to create all these problems. And
they keep everyone looking at their gas and their cars, so they're all distracted from those utility bills that are gradually going up and up and up.
Yeah, well, when and all it's going to take is some kind of little crisis here in America. God knows what the hell they're going to do, but bam, and then once that happens, that's it. It's the bottom's going to fall out, and everybody will suffer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not prepared for any of this, then it's pretty much too late right now.
Yep.
Because it's coming down now.
It is. It's coming faster too. And if you're not watching, like what's going on in Detroit, because you figure, oh well, you know, we don't live there. You know, that couldn't happen here. Well, you know, with this drought all through Southern California and up here, I mean, and it's so weird because the people in Southern California, they don't even talk about a water shortage. To them, there's no problem with the water. They turn on their faucet, they have water. And we are the ones that are being restricted up here where the water comes from.
Right. That's usually how it works. How it works.
And that's what you hear people bitch about the most here. It's our power going up because of the dam, you know, it puts out electricity, but we send that electricity to other states. And then the water, drinking water and watering your garden, it comes from here, but we're being restricted. And people down south don't even have any water restriction. Look at the golf course, man. They use up more water than the residential down there. But, those golf courses have to stay green.
That's right, especially when Obama comes visiting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yup. This is, it's becoming really, really bad. And I'll tell you, it's gonna get a lot freaking worse here. I mean, that once they got control of the well, they already have control of the resources, but once they start allotting the resources where, you know, you are rationing now, they can just flip that switch and you're cut off, and that's it. And then,
look at your food prices every week when you go to the store. I just went last night, and I usually paid $6 for this chicken. Last night it was almost $10 for the same amount.
Absolutely. I mean, this is exactly what's going on. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. The water thing scares me the worst, just because nobody can live without water, and they know this. Yeah. They know this. They absolutely know this. You can live longer without food than you can without water.
Right, and I think you can even live longer than 3 weeks without food because people fast for longer than that.
Sure, absolutely.
You know,
yep.
But water, there's no way around that.
No, there's not, and that's a really horrible.
And the fact that our government is letting these people, and it's only affecting the poor people there, but you know, they're allowing. How many people are going to die? How many little kids are going to die if their parents can't find a neighbor that will share their water or get water to them somehow? You know. And meanwhile, we are doing everything possible for illegals coming into this country in droves. I mean, by the thousands.
Yeah, hold on. Let's stick with the water here for still, because there's a mindset happening right now. And like I said, I know I've said this last week, like people in Detroit, they've got that, well, let's just say it's a Obama type mindset, right? Where, they just expect the handouts, I'm not saying everybody in Detroit, don't get me wrong, I'm not grouping everybody, but I'm going to read this article here, and this will explain my point perfectly. It says, the majority of delinquent Detroit water customers in culture of, you're not making me pay, says Deputy Director. So, here we go. Here's this entitlement frame of mind, is what I'm talking about. It says, several people protested outside the Detroit Water Department building Thursday, saying customers are having service cut off at an alarming rate, and the practice is inhumane. And this is where the UN comes in, obviously. Organizer Detroit Bullock with the Change Agent Consortium. It's called Change Agent Consortium. Yeah, that's real nice. He says the water department is going after customers that may be as little as $150 delinquent, and says the department ignores large corporations who are behind. People always want to attack the poor. Why are we attacking poor people, he asks. Well, this is the mindset, just like I just said. The entitlement mindset. Nearly half of Detroit water customers can't pay their bill. But when asked which large companies are behind in their payments, Bullock would only say that WWJ, which is the radio station here, local radio station, would research the issue. I think all of you should be standing with us, Bullock told WWJ's Marie Osborne. I think all of you should be demanding the same level of accountability for firms and corporations in the city of Detroit. They are levying on residential customers. The water department states that there are about 60,000 delinquent accounts in the city of Detroit, with an average of about $560. The Detroit Water and Sewage Department Deputy Director Dale Latimer said that every account, corporate or private, is being treated the same, adding that the water department does what they can do to work with those who come forward and address their hardship situation. The majority of our customers who are in delinquency status, they just built a culture of, you're not making me pay, I'm not going to pay, said Latimer. So, and in a way, that's right, but if the freaking water company jack up their freaking rates all of a sudden and take people by surprise, I mean, maybe this stuff wouldn't be happening. Perhaps this is all by design, and the reason why it's happening is on freaking purpose. And people don't get that, but all of a sudden it's a crisis, and the UN's got to be, sent in to deal with this, because it's a humanitarian situation when really it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, if the people couldn't pay their bill in the beginning, and adding on isn't going to make it any easier for them to pay.
No, it's not. And
there's no work in Detroit. I mean, look at that city. It's devastated, and all the companies have left there, and they attack the poorest because people of upper class don't care about the poor. So what? We're nothing to them.
Well, no, that's true, but also on the other hand, it's nobody's looking at the freaking water company itself.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the hell did you jack up your prices so bad that people can't pay suddenly?
And when they could pay, they didn't work on their infrastructure.
No.
Falling apart and everything. Well, what were they doing with all the money when everybody was paying?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, oh, you owe us now all of a sudden, and now you're going to be, and it's this going to be, and it's this. It was the same with the energy bills over the winter. Jules talked about that multiple times over the winter. I'm sitting in here, and what is it? It's almost 80 degrees, and I refuse to put my air conditioner on.
Well, though, there is a law that they cannot shut off your power in the middle of winter or in the middle of summer because it could cause deaths. But what's the difference there in the water? I mean, water's not included in that, and it's a necessity to life. But now I know these laws are in place that they can't. They can just keep charging you or whatever. I don't know how they do that. But I've seen personally where they have shut people's power off here. One lady in the middle of winter at Christmas time because she didn't want the smart meter. That she went in and had it removed.
Yeah,
a smart meter removed by an electrician and an analog one put on, and so they cut off her power until she said she would put that back on. Even the city council, they had a big meeting about it, and the city councilman asked the representative of the power company there, why can't you just turn her power back on during the Christmas season? She has children. She's not going to have no Christmas, and it's cold out. And the lady, she goes, well, we can't. We can't do it. They don't give a shit. They don't. No, they don't. They don't. And the city council member said, where's your humanity? You mean you can't turn her power back on for a month or so while this is being debated? And no, I'm sorry, but once it's smart meter, put in, we can't take it back out. And he goes, well, she already had it taken out and put an analog back in by a qualified electrician. So where's the problem here? I mean, because here in California, a lot of us don't have smart meters because we knew about it in time and stopped it. But for them to say, well, you can't take it off and you can't replace it with that.
It's absolute blackmail, and that's the same as what the water company is doing in Detroit. They are blackmailing everybody with these suddenly high prices, and it's going to do the same with the property taxes, and it's all part of this Agenda 21.
When everybody's losing their jobs at the same time.
That's right, and this is all by design. And worldwide, it's going to happen worldwide. There's going to be worldwide famine, worldwide starvation because, oh, look, nobody can really plant crops anymore. Oh, I wonder why. Well, it's geoengineering. It's all blackmail. And people aren't going to understand it until it comes and slaps them in the freaking face, which is happening now.
And, of course, they hit the poor first because the poor have less voice in the matter than anyone else.
That's right. So have fun, you guys who voted for Obama, because he's coming to get you.
Oh, man. Like I said last night, I stayed up too late. I was watching so many videos of Fast and Furious, legalizing marijuana. Cohen, I never heard anyone in any committee speak so many truths and have the head of the DEA sit there dumbfounded, not able to answer anything. This guy made him look like a blithering idiot, and yet nothing changed. That's what I say. Why do we have these committees?
What is that? What where are you going now?
Oh, I was just talking about how the poor and stuff have less voice.
Yes,
on anything that the poor is, from marijuana to drinking water, people that are sick who don't want to go to a doctor that can use this to heal themselves, they're against that. They won't legalize it, even though it's proven that the drug war didn't work. It keeps going. But they don't listen anymore at all. They don't care if we don't have water. They don't care if we have food. They just don't care.
Right.
So
they don't care anymore. They want to take us down to a third world status. They've opened up the borders. I mean, we all know this stuff.
And look at the committees. If we yell enough about something, what do? They have a committee on it and an investigation. I have yet to see where not one investigation ended up with someone charged or demoted or fired or even charged with anything. So why are we having these committees? It's just a show for us.
Right.
You know, play your part, and then that'll keep us shut up for a while. You know, it just, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have organized my file cabinet. It just got me so worked up. Yeah,
it's easy to do.
Yeah, I've been watching this stuff for so many years. It just, I don't know.
Well, the thing is how the hell are we going to turn this around? This is the thing. I mean, they're pretty much going to have us all by the short hairs, and this is exactly, I always say it, this is exactly how Stalin did it and Lenin did it back in the old days of Russia. You know, how do they control the populations? By food and water. That's right. So once you have control of that food, and once you have control of that water, you can make the population do anything.
Obama giving all this money, okay, for the illegals. What about all the homeless people? How do they feel about this? And who would listen if they did voice it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean,
you know, who's going to listen to that bum on the corner, you know, asking for a handout, even though he's a vet and he's missing a leg, you know, but nobody's even listening to them.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I just ordered this video last night. I don't know if you've seen it. What was the name of it? Something on DC. Ride to DC. This guy who got the real inside story about when they refused to let the veterans go in to see the monument and all. I mean, it's a whole video. I can't wait. And I buy one, and he sends me 9.
Oh, wow.
Hand out. I don't know. This guy. I don't know. I'd never heard of him before. It's weird, but I guess he's making videos on immigration and these different things, and I don't know. I just had never heard of him. DML. I think it is. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know where he came from all of a sudden, and it's weird that I hadn't heard of him. So I ordered him to see because I seen he posted it on Facebook about, you know, the veterans and all, and they took it down. They said it because his picture was too violent.
What?
Yeah. I'm looking for it right here. Yeah, here it is.
Picture was too violent. How the hell? That's just... Screw Facebook, man. I refuse to go on that piece of shit.
Well, I do it for posting. So to get posts out to people, you know, I post on there quite a few times a day, really. But I never do anything personal. I don't talk on it or anything. I just post. But, and so I'm trying to remember the name. I don't even have that here. And
I don't understand. Like, what? He showed a decapitated head or something on the site?
Showed a bloody guy.
What the... A guy knife. Oh, that's too bad.
No, a bloody guy.
Oh, a bloody guy.
Yeah, that was it. That was the extent of it. And they pulled it.
Those freaking idiots.
Yeah, you know, I've seen a lot of sick stuff there. And so they just didn't want his video there is what it is. And so people did put links to it. And I watched the trailer to it. And it was really interesting. It really was. So I don't know where this guy came from, though. But then I looked him up on YouTube, and he has a lot of documentaries out there.
What's his name again?
I'm looking for that now. I placed my order, and then then I can't find it. And I know I kept it, but I'll find it. But yeah, right on DC. I think it's right on DC.com, and if it is, I'll tell you in just one sec. Okay. And oh, no, that wasn't it. God, And I just ordered it last night. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Gotta get it together, Zori.
I mean, wow, Dodie, you're just, too many, going in too many directions at the same time. And I do that more and more anymore because there's so much out there.
I know, dude. It's like there's so much going on in the world. How the heck? I mean, it's like we don't even have to freaking practice or prep for the show because there's news happening every freaking day. It's
I know.
Retarded. Oh my god! And now the freaking Supreme Court's getting ready to go on their damn fucking summer vacation, and they're gonna just la-di-da-di-da rule on some stuff and then go and rape little kids.
Yeah, pedophiles. Every one of them.
That's true.
God. And it's just, okay, I finally found the page, and it should be, okay, it's DML, and his name's Dennis Michael Lynch, and it's We Ride to DC. And I put it's on my Facebook. I don't know, they haven't taken it off yet, and it shows right there. But if you just go to weridetodc.com, they have a web page up, and they have trailers to this video, and it's a well-done video. It really is. And but he also has videos on immigration and quite a few things that are of interest. So, and I've watched a couple interviews by him, and I like the guy, and I think he's doing a good thing. But every time I think that, then all of a sudden everybody starts getting down on the person. It seems like if you do something good, you got to be a bad person. Have you noticed that? I mean, everyone. No matter what it is. It's sad.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we don't, look at what they've done to us. We don't trust anyone, even someone who's doing the right thing. We find fault in it, or we find a way to not be, to discredit them. Instead of going, yay, that's cool, stand behind them. And I see it happening every time something comes up. And then it's the same as TV. We watch alternative news and stuff, but a lot of them we're finding aren't on the up and up and are just shields. But that doesn't mean they're all shields, Right. They're making it really hard, and look how easily we are detoured off. Like the psychiatry professionals, they put a guy that everyone respects up there to say something, and everyone believes him, and diverts their attention to something else. It's just crazy how many diversions. How do you stay straight?
You don't.
Focus.
You don't. That's the bottom line.
I mean, listen to me this morning. I have gone off in like 15 different directions. And
yes!
My brain, I am so sorry, but that's my brain. Right. It's just going nuts.
I understand. It's hard to nail this crap down. I mean, there's so much shit going on. It's hard to, it's extremely hard to keep up with all this crap happening exponentially fast. Now, I mean, you think it was... People in the 90s were just like going, oh my God, and everybody says, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen tomorrow. Well, you know what? It really is going to happen. It's going to happen this year, at least. And
we thought that back then, in 93 and 94 and 90. I mean, if you go back and read a lot of my articles, they're all saying that it's going to happen in the near future. And now here it is, 2014, but it really is now. I mean, all you have to do is look around. So, yeah. I mean, imagine being me. I try to go to sleep at night. My head is just going. I don't know how to shut it off anymore.
That's difficult. It's absolutely difficult. I think, dang it. Let's see here. Okay. Hang on. I think Jules wants in here. Cool. It is cool. I love it when Jules...
But you know that thing that I wrote, you can't the government can't rule innocent men. And they must have come to this conclusion a long time ago and just started making laws that could be interpreted so many ways that it leaves the regular person like, duh.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And they've been writing about this for a long time. I mean, we had Brandon Turbeville on here on Friday, man, and he was talking about Zygmunt Brzezinski writing all about this in the 90s as well. So it's it's been going on. It's been going on, and they write about it, and they brag about it, and they tell you what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Like we were saying on Friday, Dick Cheney, announced, there's going to be another attack.
9/11, yep, but it's going to be worse. Yep.
Yeah, man, so it's, this is not a good deal. Let's see here. Trying to bring Jules in here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I see. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, it's calling her. I see. It's not connecting.
Oh.
Okay. Call failed. The technicalities of radio. Are you having problems with pages not coming up a lot? No? I don't know about anyone else, but mine just sit there and spin and spin and spin more and more every day. I get more that will just sit there. I can reboot my computer and then they'll work fine for a little while, but it isn't long. It's like something in there is just gobbling up on my bandwidth. And I have no limits on mine. And I'm on fiber optics. I shouldn't be having this problem at all. That
doesn't make any sense, does it?
I know, it doesn't. And it's only certain pages. Like when I'm researching something. It's only those pages that sit and spin. I can open another tab and go to, NBC or anything like that, and they come right up. So it's just... I've been in computers many years and worked on them and stuff, and it don't make no sense. I've gone through and tested everything. It just don't make no sense. They're already controlling. They're just making it inconvenient.
Right.
And maybe tomorrow that page will come right up. But, when you're in the middle of something, you're trying to do some research and stuff, it gets very irritating that you can't get in there. So, all
right, let's see if this is going to work.
Okay, I hope so. It's calling her.
Hope so.
I don't know. I don't see her in chat. Maybe she went for coffee. Or something.
No, I just tried to call.
Yeah, and it's still trying and it's not going through. I think maybe she ran up to get coffee or something.
Nope, she's trying to get on here. I'm trying to bring her in here.
See what I mean? And Microsoft buying Skype, for that outrageous amount of money. And then things like this started happening.
Let's see here. She's trying to get in here, man.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Vince. Have a great day. Vince is leaving for the day.
Oh, no. We're losing Vince. Sorry, Vince.
Oh.
You better come back.
Oh, he will. Vince, he cracks me up. He really does. He's got such a big heart. I just love the man. He's a good guy. Yeah.
All right.
A little giggly sometimes. When he got, what was it, last week on one of his shows, he got the giggles so bad. And when he starts, everybody starts laughing. Can you remember, like in school, it used to happen to me all the time. When you get the giggles so bad that you cannot stop them, no matter how hard you try, and even if it's turning serious, you're still back there laughing. I miss those days. I don't get those very often anymore.
Oh, yeah. I know. Jeez. we're all going to be missing these kind of. I don't want to be in that freaking position. I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to think one day that, oh my God, I wish we were like the old days. You know, I don't want to be thinking that.
But I don't know. No hope. That's another one of their weapons, and you know, that feeling of doom. Even though it's upon us, it is a weapon. And how do you fight? It's getting harder and harder to stay positive about things. And I've always tended towards, you know, the positive and hope and thinking we can do this. And then your hands get tied, and it's so frustrating. You know, it's like they gagged you, and then you can't get nothing out because
All right. Well, let's figure something out. I'm trying to get Jules in here, and for some reason, this darn thing is just not happening. And I don't know what the deal is here. I've been trying to call, and it won't let me call. It's not like ringing on her end, so trying again. She should just be able to answer it right now. But it's not even giving her a button to push to say answer. So what the hell's going on?
And that's weird because that happens to me. Because when I always get your calls. Always. Every time I hear it ring and I answer. But when she calls me, I don't hear it ring. I know nothing about it that she's calling.
This is just definitely not good. Definitely not good. Well, it says I added UCY.TV, so it should be here. I mean, it just seems like it should be right on here, but it's not.
Huh. And it's, you know what, it seems to be her, they don't want her to get out here and talk. Because, or, I don't know, because when she calls me, like I said, it doesn't ever ring.
Well, I guess that's been happening to just more than us. It's happened to Chuck. Chuck said the other day he was having a hard time adding people in.
Yep. Yeah, you know, it's more and more, and it's Skype. And where else can you go? I mean, there's other gaming, you know, like Team something that they do, but it won't work for us in what we do. But
right. Well,
Skype, you know, we're
kind of messed up.
Yeah, you know.
Jules is getting a little pissed off too, so I want to try and get this call in, but it's just not letting me. I don't know. I was having this problem last Monday too, and I was trying to take calls like off air. It just wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me add anybody in. So I don't understand.
I can't call into the radio station. Remember when I was?
She's calling me. And I'm hearing it on my phone, but I'm not seeing it.
Well, go to recent in Skype.
Okay. Shit.
And does it show her calling there?
No.
No?
No. This is weird. I heard it on my phone. I heard the call come in on my phone, guys. And I'm not seeing it here. I'm just not seeing it. It's not on my screen. On my computer. So this is just definitely weird. I don't understand what the heck's going on. She's calling me again.
Oh, can't you answer it?
No, there's no button that says answer. I can hear it on my phone behind me. It's coming in on my phone.
Oh, but it's not coming in on Skype?
It's not coming in on my computer. It's not coming in on Skype.
That's really strange. Oh boy! Now I can't get on the on Firefox. It just kicked me off and said you have to update to continue.
Oh man!
It's Monday morning. Man, that means I lose all my open tabs.
Crazy. I don't know, man. Absolutely nuts. I guess it wasn't Jules calling in online. Well, that was good.
Yeah, and it won't. You can't right click on Jules and go add to conversation.
Well, let me try it again. She told me to go on UCY first. We'll try. She told me UCY.TV. Trying to... That's not working either.
See, and all these problems never used to have... I can remember never having a problem with Skype until after Microsoft bought it over. Just like anything good, Microsoft goes and buys it up. I don't know how many software programs that I absolutely loved, and then Microsoft went in and bought it, and they always went downhill.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his fingers in everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, they're going to make me install this. This is pissing me off.
Well, this out here, guys, because this is not good.
I don't know. I give up. I mean, there goes all my tabs. I wanted to talk about the Red Cross, too, and what we're finding out about them. You know, it's all coming out now. And about their trade secrets is why they can't tell the committee why they didn't put all that money that was donated for Sandy Hook. I mean, for Sandy, the hurricane. I wanted to get into this Red Cross deal and this thing that the reason Red Cross won't tell Congress why they didn't pay all the money out to the people that were having so much trouble after Hurricane Sandy. They're saying they what is it that it's a trade secret, and so they can't tell them what they did with the money.
Well, of course, because the Red Cross is nothing but a giant funneling station put in their coffers. They're not going to help anybody with that. Do we have Jules?
Yeah, me.
Hi, Jules. How are you?
Oh, I feel horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What now? Trade secrets for the Red Cross?
Yeah, can you believe that?
No, I read all kinds of stuff, though. I didn't read about trade secrets.
Yep. Oh, well, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to try and go over it. Okay, it says, Red Cross says how it used Hurricane Sandy funds is trade secret.
And let me ask a question. One thing that I tend to do when I find stories is I make sure that the publication I'm reading it out of is well-known and reputable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are we reading that out of?
Out of RT.
Okay. So, RT I would tend to believe.
Uh-huh. And it says, American Red Cross has been reluctant to make public details over how it raised and spent over $300 million in Hurricane Sandy relief funds. The charity's lawyer said the disclosure would inflict competitive harm on the group. I didn't know the Red Cross was in competition, for one thing. The Red Cross supplied some of the information concerning its Sandy activity to the New York Attorney General Eric Snyderman, whose office has been investigating the issue. When a New York-based independent nonprofit media outlet, ProPublica, filed a public records request for the same information, the charity's lawyers argued that journalists could only be given a redacted version, as some of the facts mentioned in the report constituted a trade secret. I don't get it. What competition, for one thing?
Well, there's other relief agencies out there.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It says, in such details were disclosed, the American Red Cross would suffer competitive harm because its competitors would be able to mimic the American Red Cross business model for an increased competitive advantage.
Keep going.
I thought they were supposed to be I thought this was supposed to be a humane thing that they did for the people.
Right. That's right.
The Disaster Accountability Project, a watchdog that monitors aid monitors aid groups found Red Cross citing trade secrets exemption was a strange thing to do. Invoking a trade secret exemption is not something you would expect from an organization that purports to be transparent and accountable, said the group's executive director. The Attorney General's office agreed to redactions for which the Red Cross asked, but not all of them. The response to the charity's lawyers, which has been made public, lists 10 instances in which requests for redaction have been denied. New York Attorney General has for quite a while been pressing the Red Cross on greater transparency over its Sandy activity. In a letter sent to the charity a year ago, the office expressed continuing concerns about fundraising and relief efforts conducted by the American Red Cross in response to Hurricane Sandy. Last April, the Red Cross said it still possessed a third of the donations raised for Sandy relief. The group's officials said the money will be spent on that particular storm recovery. The group's officials said the money will be spent on that particular storm recovery. Now some disaster relief experts then criticized the Red Cross for not spending the money more urgently in the weeks following the storm, but keeping the funding instead for long-term recovery. Government spending of the Sandy relief aid has also been questioned. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie has faced allegations he misspent millions of dollars in relief aid received from Washington's federal officials have been investigating whether Christie used some of the $25 million in aid to produce tourism ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that, yeah. But, it's just greed. And
that Red Cross money, it wasn't used for the Haiti victims. That Red Cross money isn't for the Hurricane Sandy victims. None of that's being allotted for the real reasons why it's supposed to be there in the first place. They have to hide that. They have to have redactions. They've got to make it. They don't have transparency. It's ridiculous. Anybody who thinks that these organizations, such as the Hungry Children's Fund in Africa, or the Clinton Foundation. There's another competitor to the Red Cross right there.
9/11. They never helped.
They didn't help anybody at 9/11.
They held back so much funds.
Yeah, they just made bank. They made bank off this, and this is the reasons why, because they're not really transparent.
Right. In Haiti, they were only there, they say they were only there about a week, 2 weeks.
So how long has it been since Haiti? So it's been quite a few many years, and I can guarantee you their palace there is being rebuilt, but I can guarantee you that most of those people still live in cardboard boxes.
Yeah, you want to know something? I've been working on doing a huge website cut over the last week or so. And one of the section was archives from about 3 years ago, video archives, and there were all kinds of stories about Haiti being in complete disarray still after all of that funding and aid relief that never got there.
Yeah, never got there. It's just, it drives me freaking crazy that you see all these commercials with these poor little sad kids and,
remember... the Red Cross closed because of the weather after Sandy. Remember that article about that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that FEMA had, didn't they have Occupy people going in there because FEMA wouldn't even bring supplies in?
Yes. And they were trying to stop the Occupy people from going
I remember
in.
that.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy, and they kept a large portion, 25% of the money. For what? They go for long term. What? When are they going to give the money to the people from the Sandy hurricane?
Well, they're not. It's just like paying your school taxes, and your superintendent makes $275,000 a year, and then you get a week after your school taxes go in, you get a note from the kid's teacher saying, "Oh, we need you to go buy 30 glue sticks because each child needs to donate because we don't have money to buy it." Are you friggin' kidding me? Honestly, next school year, I'm going to go in and become that mom that they're all going to want to have arrested. Because I've about had
Valley
it.
PTA.
Yeah, I've about had it, honestly. I mean, you're going to sit there on your high freaking horse. I don't give a shit. I could guarantee you with the 13 branches that I ran and all the shit that I did a hell of a lot more work than that superintendent sitting there. And I didn't make anywhere near $275,000.
Jeez.
You know, I didn't have plastic surgery included on the taxpayer's dime in my health insurance.
That's insane.
You know, well, it's part of, I mean, I don't know if they got that out of the teachers' health insurance, but I know that that was a sticking point for a long time. The teachers had plastic surgery covered.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and their health insurance. Let's go get our boobs done, Helen. September.
And be back in time for the kids. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, come on. And every time my taxes go up more, and I mean, they should, if they know anything about manipulation techniques, here's the thing I'm going to tell you. They probably should wait for more than a week after that painful tax bill goes out before they start begging for more.
Right.
Uh-huh.
They don't think that. They're just going to continue to beg and beg like the Red Cross does. Oh, text certain numbers to this hashtag. Send us money. We'll take it right off your phone bill. You'll never even see it.
You know, New York State, too, with their how many $100,000 a year plus plow drivers. Yep, they're crying there isn't any freaking tax money. Well, hey, if I were making $100,000 for driving a plow 8 months out of the year, I think I'd be pretty damn happy.
Big time.
Is that a six-figure job? I don't think so.
No, it's not.
It's crazy.
They don't
It's out
pay
of
them 6
control.
figures here. Or anywhere else, for that matter. Only in New
it's
York.
snowy and nasty here. Well, it's not all of them that make 6 figures, but that's like a running thing in our newspapers. Every winter, they do another story on how many more 6-figure freaking plow drivers there are in New York State this year versus next. And that's bullshit. There should be a cap on that job for income.
At
Should there
least.
not? I mean, isn't that how ISO works, right? There's a pay range.
Sure.
You know, and they're probably sleeping half of it. That's what they do when, you know, there's no snow or whatever. They're parked waiting for the storm to arrive in one of those salt depots with the diesel running, and they're taking a snooze.
Heck yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I just, you know, I got to tell you, my dad, whenever I saw him 2 weekends ago, and all the old timers, I was wound up pretty tight. No, not me. And then get a few beers into me, and it's like, uh-oh, spring. You know, it at least takes me a few days to get it all out of me. So, yeah, all the guys were visiting, and like I told you, everybody, I was so amazed like at how awake they had all become since I had seen them in the fall. And so we're all like yelling at each other, but not in a bad We're all yelling, oh my God, did you see? Blah, 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 blah. Oh God, did you see? So, I mean, it was just one of those weekends. But
that's fun.
My dad at one point stops and he's like, Jewel, you should run for office. And guys are like, yeah. And I'm like, oh no, Jules for Congress. Maybe we should get signs. He's like, man, you could go out there, you'd be calling them all out. They'd be running from you. I'm like, yeah, and then I get shot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Insider trading.
Guess what? The Pope isn't using his Pope mobile anymore. Maybe I could get it for cheap.
Is he going to sell that sucker on eBay?
I don't know. I saw, though, he's not using it anymore. I'm like, damn, I love that thing.
I remember that. The Butthole Surfers wrote a song about it.
Yeah, they did. That's what I heard about it. It was from the Butthole Surfers.
I love that damn song.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, my goodness.
So, I have a horrible sinus infection, as you can hear, and my dentist just called just before I got on to say, hey, your appointment is tomorrow to go get the permanent one put on.
Oh.
I said, oh, well, look, I was going to call you because I was fine before I went to my appointment last week. And then you ground this molar with a big old amalgam filling in it down to the little nib. Yeah. And I woke up the next morning and that whole side of my sinus was full of infection that is now, in my whole head, my ears, in my chest.
Yeah,
seems like maybe that came from the tooth.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want me there for my next tooth to be put on. I said, are you going to get me sicker?
Jeez, man, what did he say?
This was the secretary. She's like, I don't know if they can get you sick. I said, well, all I can say is I was fine, and you launched all that bacteria and amalgam into my body, and now I'm sicker than a dog.
Damn.
I've read where people have had that same problem once they go in and have that drilled out. It's poison through your body.
And for as much as you try not to swallow any of it or get any of it, I mean, he's got the Dremel in there, and his face mask and everything. You don't think I'm not breathing that stuff in water vapor?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, I felt fine until the next morning, and it was like somebody ran over me and then backed it back up again with the truck.
Why the hell did he have to use the amalgam?
No, the tooth, all my teeth. My dentist is
he drilled
every one of my teeth. So every tooth is a big silver filling. The whole thing.
Oh, no.
Which is why my teeth are cracking now.
Yep.
He said they get brittle when you get older, and I grind my teeth, too, to boot. So I'm putting all this pressure on my teeth. All the stress makes me clench when I'm sleeping, and it's cracking the teeth in half.
Shit.
I've seen pictures of when they took out those film. I mean, it looks horrible.
Yeah, but you know something? There's a way. I think there's a proper way to take out those amalgam fillings without having to drill into it and getting it all into your mouth and crap. I think there's a dentist in Ann Arbor that specializes in that. And they're absolutely against the amalgam fillings.
No, he's not taking them out. What's happening is as my teeth crack, I have no other choice. They got to come out because the tooth snaps in half. So I got to get something done. So,
but I think there's a way that they can take it out without having to drill through it. I think that's my point.
I think he just ground the tooth down. When you get a crown on, they ground the tooth down to a nub.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So and I don't do it with Novocaine either. I did it with no pain meds.
Oh my God! You are a brave lady.
You know what? Like nah, mind over matter. Mind over matter. It's all after I had the kid and 5 days being induced and I gave in finally and I'm like, no, give me the spinal. And they give me that thing, or what? It wasn't the spinal. It's the one that goes in from the top of the spine down.
The epidural.
Yeah, the epidural. But where the kid was hitting, she was hitting a nerve that doesn't get numbed by that. So 5 days with this in my back, and I could feel every single bit of it. So, I mean, I look at it this way. It strengthens you. But I hate that Mangala needle, man.
Yes.
That freaking needle that is like all steel and long and pointy and looks like they're going to put you to sleep forever, man. I never got over that as a kid. And I just don't want that thing. And then they stick it right into the muscle. It's intramuscular. No thanks.
Oh, yeah. That's the Mangala needle.
So
it's interesting that you use that word.
That's what it reminds me of. And, the dentist with his face mask on and the thing, and he's like coming at you. No, thank you.
Oh, man. Oh, there's that scene in Pulp Fiction with that giant long needle like that Mangala needle that sticks in her heart. That kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, well, that was the adrenaline shot. Man. He doesn't quite stab it like that, though.
Right. It's just the image. Oh.
I wanted to read something I came across last night, and I've been talking about this for a while as a part of Obamacare, because we knew it was possible, and if you know anything about databases, it's very easy. This is out of the UK Mail Online, so take it for what you will. The doctors will spy on you now. Hospitals and insurance companies are using credit card data to monitor how patients eat, whether they belong to a gym, and when they smoke. Now, they don't even have to use credit card data. I mean, they could be using your cash card data as well. But it says doctors, hospitals, and insurance companies have begun spying on patients using credit card data and other private details. sneak a pack of cigarettes, let your gym membership lapse, and start eating unhealthy foods, and you could get a scolding phone call from your doctor or your insurance provider. Now, this is just the very tip of the iceberg. Imagine the future. The future is going to be that we're raising your insurance premiums because you are entertaining unhealthy modicums of living, whether it be not exercising or smoking or drinking. And as they work on getting rid of cash, I got a message, Brandon. I want to ask him to do a UID update because I want to find out where that's at for the cashless rollouts. But as they start getting rid of cash, of course, you won't be able to hide any of those transactions.
Nope. I have to scan before I go into my gym. I actually have to scan a little card and I'm not doing it. So, I go to the gym and I don't scan.
I know, and scanning everything now. It's convenience sake. Everybody's used to it. Mm-hmm. They have gotten us to the point where we don't even think about it now.
The boiling frog.
Mm-hmm. Privacy advocates and many patients aren't impressed. They say the new technology is invasive and hurts the doctor-patient relationship. Bloomberg News reports that several healthcare groups are beginning to use this advanced demographic and spending data. Now, too, there's this whole electronic record initiative that's been on the books for quite a number of years before the whole Obamacare debacle. And I saw just recently they gave them another year or so, but they have drawn a definite deadline for that to happen for all of your electronic records to be online, just so you're aware of that.
Jeez.
Bloomberg News reports that several healthcare groups are beginning to use advanced demographic and spending data from both credit cards and store loyalty cards. Did we not talk about that?
That's right.
To track patient behavior, though the program remains in its infancy. The changes can be, oh boy, I just know it. The changes can be chalked up to Obamacare, which has put pressure on hospitals to keep patients' healthy and out of the emergency rooms. Hospitals can be fined if patients are readmitted within a short time of treatment. Carolina's healthcare system, a Charlotte-based company that operates 900 hospitals, clinics, and doctors' offices, as well as surgery centers in North and South Carolina, is on the forefront of the trend. What we are looking to find are people before they end up in trouble, said Dr. Michael Doolin, who is in charge of the program for the Carolinas. The idea is to use big data and predictive models to think about population health and drill down to the individual levels to find someone running into trouble that we can reach out to and help out. Big brother.
Wow. That's right.
Is this not like making you want to puke? Because I know I hate people in my business, and I hate people in my face, and I hate being micromanaged more than anything on the planet. I would go psycho. If I had a doctor calling me, telling me to stop my unhealthy behavior.
Oh, my God.
Personally, I like my unhealthy behavior. It's the only pleasure I have left in life.
Well, it reminds me of that pizza delivery thing. Remember when that guy was ordering pizza?
There was a joke. There was a joke. Yeah, well, it wasn't a joke.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
It says the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which has 20 hospitals in Pennsylvania, and an insurance company, as well as using a less detailed model that collects general demographic information, like whether the patient has children or owns a car, to make predictions of emergency room visits, which is one of the most costly ways to get treatment. Both companies are using the data to call patients before they ever come in for treatment. The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center tries to set up its clients with a doctor or nurse practitioner appointment to get ahead of any health problems. Georgianne Murray, an accountant from Charlotte, North Carolina, with type 1 diabetes, said she is already getting regular phone calls from her insurance company wanting to talk to her about how she is managing her disease. Wow. Oh, my God.
Are you kidding me?
Like badgering a smoker about quitting smoking constantly. You're going to have someone coming at you with freaking ice picks for your eyes.
Yeah, or convincing that 13-year-old girl that
to go get an abortion.
To go remove her breast because mom and grandma died from breast cancer.
That's
or
true.
talk them into Gardasil's
That's
true. Oh my God, this is bad.
It's just very. Oh my.
This stuff will make me if they started calling me and badgering me, that would be one thing that would be like a spring for me. I do not like to be micromanaged because I don't require it.
That's right. I can manage myself. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I've made it 46 years. What makes you think I need you now?
This is how they're going to do it. And oh my!
And then you're going to go psychopathic, and they're going to go, "Oh, you are in need of psychological services and some medication."
And we're going to predict that for you. I think it's dangerous that I didn't know that hospitals would be fined if the patient comes back after being treated. I didn't know that either. That's dangerous. Because
that means get them out quick.
Yeah.
And don't let them back. Yeah, let them sit in the waiting room until they die.
This is dangerous, man.
Iriana Reiku, an internet ethics professor at Santa Clara University, blasted the new strategies as very paternalistic toward individuals inclined to see human beings as simply a sum of data points about them. And that's the end. So, I don't know. I guess put on a freaking seatbelt, because that was probably one of the most disturbing stories that I've seen, and it's only Monday.
Take the humanity out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to predict if you have a migraine. We're going to predict if this, tumor comes back in your brain.
Well, I'll tell you, back 25 plus years ago, I worked at an operations center for a bank. I did commercial real estate on the backside, though. I was doing the data end. I was IT. And we were doing these large data sets of bringing all these collateral files from all over the U.S. from these big bank acquisitions that these banks had gone under, and the federal government stepped in and put all these loans up for auction, and we purchased them. And so they were all coming to Buffalo. And they had a great health care plan. The pay was kind of sucky, but they had a great health care plan. And now we're talking early 90s. This was right after I got out of college. And they tried to push through at that time making... What's that noise?
I'm on mute. It's not me.
That's weird.
I'm on mute.
Okay. Anyway, they tried to make a sliding scale for health insurance rates. So they gave you a questionnaire, and they wanted the ability to get into your health records. But hey, at that time, we still had those pesky HIPAA laws that prevented any of these corporations from looking at your data. Now, you remember back a few weeks ago, I don't know if you were on, Zori, but I'm pretty sure you were, Wendy. We had read that story about how many different corporations already have access to all your private data, right? That's supposed to be protected.
Yes.
Right? And there were thousands of them, all these companies that are involved somehow on the backside.
It was a giant list.
It was huge. It was huge. But back in those days, it was just you and your doctor and the insurance company, and all that was protected. So it started quite a wave of backlash back in those days, because people are like, what the F? You want into my medical records, so if I do risky things like smoke, you could charge me more?
Right.
You know, and it never happened. And I am pretty certain there was a court case back in those days, and it was ruled as discriminatory. How can you discriminate just randomly picking one thing? You're a smoker, I'm going to charge you more. And here was my thing. All right, well, you go out every Friday night and have unprotected sex with strangers. Yeah. I call that risky behavior. How about you go out and you drink large amounts of alcohol and then do 220 miles an hour down the back roads with your eyes closed? That's risky behavior. So how come you're not charging them more just because you don't know about it, but you can, because my doctor knows I smoke, you're going to charge me more? Screw you.
Exactly.
And so that got shot down. But it sounds to me like, because we're so naive now and we've just been groomed to allow them into every backdoor data point, and they've weaseled their way in, now it's no longer a problem. How come nobody's complaining?
Right, and this is like this is what Hillary's like school lunch program's all about. We have to control everything you do. We have to control everything you eat. And we have to like predict whether you're going to have problems as an adult. This is nuts, guys. I mean, I'll tell you, they're mowing around my yard, so I'm sorry for the background.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. They haven't mowed in like 3 freaking weeks, and all of a sudden they have to come when I'm on air to freaking mow.
Well, everyone's concerned about them, finding information that way. When all these apps on people's telephones, who reads, what you're agreeing to? And they say there's a lot of things hidden in those agreements because they know no one's going to read them. You just, I want that app. And you got it, and you agree. Most people don't have a clue as to what they're agreeing to.
Well, I'll tell you something. A couple days ago, I have my weather app on my phone, and just about every day, especially when I'm out here, I'll go check because, I don't know, I'm sitting out here, and if I'm lucky and I remember to leave the air on overnight so it's not 110 degrees when I come out here in the morning, I don't even look outside. The door's closed, the air's on. I don't know if it's hot or cold or whatever. I can only see it's sunny or not out the window. So I hit my phone to see what the temperature is, and my weather app is gone from my phone.
What?
Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I thought, well, maybe in a stupor when I was out with the, hanging out with the old timers a couple days before, maybe in a drunken stupor, I hit it and threw it into the trash can. So I go into apps, which are all your apps that you've downloaded and installed, and I was going to go put it back on my little phone desktop. Guess what? It's not there either. Like, it was completely deleted from my phone. Like, nice. I never, ever had it there. So I was like, all right, screw that. I'll go back out. I'll go to the App Store, and I'll download it again. And here's the thing. Once an app has already been installed, if you go out to that same app, it'll give you either update as a choice or delete, okay? So it knows that the app's already on your phone. I go out there, and all it says is install. So I know for a fact that the app is completely gone from my phone. Like, gone. Now, I've never, ever, ever uninstalled an app from my phone. So I do not know how to even do that. So it couldn't even have been by mistake. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go reinstall this app anyway. It happened to be the AccuWeather app. Guys, they wanted access to my contact list.
Yep.
To all of my photos. To my GPS location. As well as to my dialer.
TuneIn Radio wants access to all those things, and that's That's the only way I can get UCY in on my phone is through that TuneIn app.
Why?
I have
Shoutcast, guys. I have Shoutcast.
Is that an app?
Yeah, it's an app, and then you can put all your shows in there. Though I don't know, I installed that a couple years ago, but you might want to check that out, the Shoutcast app, or the Winamp. It's the Winamp app that pulls in then the Shoutcast server.
Yeah, who knows what we've agreed to? Really?
You don't. And I was like, why do they need access to my personal photographs and my personal friends and my contact list for me to get a weather app?
Right.
Well, my weather app disappeared on my computer, and I went into add-ons. It's not even available anymore. I can't. No weather apps are available all of a sudden from my computer.
How could that be, Zori? There's all.
I don't know. But I've gone in and I keep going back because I like that weather app, but I can't. None available. Not through Firefox.
I don't know. How about go to Wonderground?
To what?
Wonderground.
I just signed up on that. They've got great freaking radar, man.
Their radar has storm tracking. If you put the storm tracker on when a storm is coming in, it'll actually show you which clouds are rotating versus which are not. So you can see the rotating thunderstorms. They'll show you the storm tracker where they're predicting the storm's going to funnel out towards, so you can see it like 100 miles in advance where they're planning it's coming to. They have real-time photographs from any of the live weather cams that are there, so you can click on a cam. I mean, we had the one storm down in Texas. I was watching that sucker that when they have the typhoons come in.
Yeah.
The typhoon from a month or so ago. I was watching that real time with like lightning flashes and everything. That was freaking great.
Wow.
Yeah, but sometimes too, that application is really heavy on the graphics, so the more clicks you turn on, sometimes it starts to really suck all of your video memory dry. But you can put on the tornado tracker. There's that whole control panel down the side. But it's like having your own National Weather Service on your computer.
That's pretty cool, man.
It's the best weather app I've found.
I love that, too. I mean, I love watching the storms come in on radar, man. It's great.
On my Android, though, I found the National Weather Service app, the mobile app. That's the only one that I have found that did not ask me for any information whatsoever. They wanted nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like my husband said, yeah, but it's a government app, so it's probably all built in so you don't see it.
Right. You've already agreed to it with something else.
Right. They put the spyware on me anyway. They didn't have to tell me as law.
Oh, my goodness.
Here, I want to read one more story as we're running up to the end here. We did not talk about this on Friday. Actually, it came out on Saturday, so we wouldn't have. You guys may have seen this. I know that we have talked about Facebook using our data before for different studies, and there was a video clip, I think, even that we watched the other day that had talked about it. But this one is titled, Facebook may have experimented with controlling your emotions without telling you. So how is that? Researchers at Facebook ran an experiment on nearly 700,000 randomly chosen users to see if their overall emotional state could be manipulated by the types of posts they see in their feeds. Now think about that, guys. We are rats in a cage.
Petri dish.
Big time. Think Progress reported on a scientific paper published on Friday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science entitled Experimental Evidence of Massive Scale Emotional Contagion Through Social Networks. Now, remember, we have that whole study going on by the Pentagon on how to thwart unrest through social media. So, using the word contagion is quite an interesting correlation.
Especially emotional contagion.
Experimental evidence of the massive scale emotional contagion through social networks, in which the researchers concluded that it is not just possible but very easy to drive emotional responses in users by controlling the content they see. Now, if any of these researchers that were spewing all this money to had ever read about Edward Bernays, or knew anything about marketing or psychology, they would have already known that. Okay, you can pull on heartstrings using colors, using images. That's not that difficult. Users of the social media platform consented to be experimented on by developers and researchers when they signed, oh my God, sorry, the terms and conditions necessary to open a Facebook account.
Oh my God, dude.
There you go. Yes, I give my consent to be experimented on like a lab rat. The experiment took place from January 11th to the 18th of 2012. Oh, I was already involved in Facebook by that time. And in radio. And involved 689,003 English-speaking users. When the researchers fed users posts, which an algorithm ranked as emotionally positive, those users began to produce more positive and optimistic posts in their own feeds. Yeah, well, how many millions of dollars did you need to figure that one out?
I know. I don't
if
know.
You start sending people shit that pisses them off, you better believe that they're going to start putting pissed off posts on their page. Right?
Yes.
Oh, my God. According to the study abstract, quote, we show via a massive experiment on Facebook that emotional states can be transferred to others via emotional contagion, leading people to experience the same emotions without their awareness, unquote. Furthermore, we provide experimental evidence that emotional contagion occurs without direct interaction between people. Exposure to a friend expressing an emotion is sufficient, and in the complete absence of non-verbal cues, meaning that you don't even need to talk to your friend to be affected by their online emotional state. None of the users who were part of the experiment have been notified. Anyone who uses the platform consents to be part of these types of studies when they check yes on their data use policy that is necessary to use the service. Facebook users consent to have their private information used for, quote, internal operations, including troubleshooting, data analysis, testing, research, and service improvement. The company said no one's privacy had been violated because researchers were never exposed to the content of the messages, which were rated in terms of positivity and negativity by a software algorithm, there we go, programmed to read word choices and tones. As such, said researchers, it was consistent with Facebook's data use policy, to which all users agree to prior to creating a Facebook account, constituting informed consent for this research. A Consumer Reports survey says that 37% of users have even bothered to check their own privacy settings, let alone customize them to friends only or other settings. There is a burden on the individual to get educated, but there's also a burden on the companies, says Pamela Rutledge, director of the Media Psychology Research Center. We are not all liars. Lawyers. We're not all lawyers. We're not all IT guys. And that's how they end it, with a funny little quip. Ha 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 ha, don't worry about it. So that's it, ladies.
Yeah, I've always been affected by other people's moods, and most people are. If you walk into a room and everyone's depressed, you're going to get depressed,
Like I said, I didn't see where that required large amounts of research or dollars.
Right.
It's the end of the show, guys.
It sure is. That's it. It's over.
Thank you, Jules, for being on with us.
Thanks, guys. Hey, we got to figure out, I think we got to run some rebroads at the end of the week, because I'm going to be gone, you're going to be gone, so I don't know, Zori, unless you want to do Thursday and Friday yourself.
No.
Otherwise, we'll figure something out.
I'm going to the lake.
Okay.
I'm going to Freedom Palooza.
All right.
I'm so jealous.
And I'm checking out. So, all right, guys, everybody, thank you for listening today.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Hey, thank you, Top Knot. By the way, I just caught Top sent a donation. Thank you.
Hey, Top Knot.
Hey, all right, guys, have a happy Monday. Have a little more coffee, and make sure you stick around. Another Brandon Turbeville Part 2 tonight on ISIS in Iraq. You don't want to miss it.
Thanks, guys.